Yes, it is time for the first Rep Me Book Club Romance Readathon for the Besties Romance Book Club. That's a mouthful. But I am super excited about this. As I've hinted in the title, your girl has been stressed. The anxiety is high. I'm a little down in the dumps, a little overwhelmed, and I need to escape reality for a bit. So we are just going to focus on reading romances, hanging out, and having a good time. And I'll be taking you along for the ride. This is our first time doing a weekend readathon for the besties in the Rep Me book clubs. I was a little worried that the internet would be kind of meh in here. I usually do stuff in the office. So I've got all of these wires to try and direct connect my laptop to the internet so that I'm not doing Wi-Fi, so that hopefully it's going to be just a super smooth, fun experience. Because I'm excited and I want this to go as smoothly as possible. Fingers crossed. Admittedly, I'm getting a little bit nervous now that I'm talking about it, but you know what? It's gonna be fine. God, I hope I don't jinx myself. Now, we are going to officially start the buddy read during the sprints that I'm going to be doing with the book Besties, and we are reading Outdrawn by Deanna Gray, which is a rivals to lovers sapphic romance featuring Black characters. We love it. The representation, yes, please. As we already know, Rep Me Book Club, because representation matters, and we're all stars here. Yes, baby. But because I know this is going to take a while for me to get through, we're going to physically be reading, we're going to be chatting, we're going to be taking breaks, we're going to be having a cool, fun, chatty time. So I decided that I wanted to start another book. This book doesn't really have any representation, which is not what I normally want to do for a Rep Me Readathon, but I am pretty flexible with these as long as most of the books that you read have representation and or you fit books within. And I'm kind of tight on my schedule and needed to prioritize books that were already on my TBR. So decided to grab this one. I do switch things up a little bit later just to add some more representation into the mix. So we've got our romance bingo that we're doing as well. Been seeing some of the TBRs in the Discord, which I'm super excited about. I decided to start with the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Paston. And I'm almost done with this bad boy and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yes, I'm here for it. So if you don't know, the premise of this is basically a young woman inherits an apartment from her aunt who's always telling her how it is a magical place. But she doesn't exactly believe that until one day a random man shows up and says that he was subletting the place while her aunt was on vacation, and she realizes that she is 7 years in the past. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. I get why it was on so many people's favorites. That's all I have to say so far, because I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is a great start. I'm already feeling better. Almost forgot that I'm stressed, right? This works. This works. When you're stressed, pick up happy bucks. I don't know. Maybe this won't work always, but so far we're off to a good start, and hopefully it stays that way. Also, because this is such a fun thing that we're doing, even though the weekend readathons are not supposed to be a monthly thing over on Patreon, I am going to be doing another one next month for spooky reads in October. So if you are interested in joining, let me know. I have a public poll on Patreon to figure out what the best weekend is. So I'll have that linked down below. And if you guys are into it, you can join us for the next weekend readathon. We end up doing reading sprints both of the days of the weekend. We hang out and fun stuff. So also, if you have suggestions, let me know, because this is my first time. We're just gonna get better. That's my thoughts on it. So yeah, let me know what you think. Oh, I'm in a good mood. This is great because I was not in a good mood yesterday. I was so stressed. I was so scared about the readathon because I was like, oh no, I'm going to be a Debbie Downer and this is supposed to be our first readathon. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to focus this weekend on trying to cheer myself out, escaping from the real world, pretending that all of my problems don't exist. So yeah, that's kind of embarrassing realizing that. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm going to finish this book and continue getting ready for the live shows. Stay tuned. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Also, shout out to the besties. They're amazing. This is so awesome. So friggin' awesome. So I guess let's get to it. I finished the first book of the readathon, The 7 Year Slip. I get why people love this. I understand. I don't think it's an all-time favorite for me, but I did really like it. It's definitely a high 4 stars. So that's good. That's nice. I enjoyed it. Great way to start off. Great friggin' way. Now I want to make sure that my laptop is plugged in. So we're going to go ahead and grab my charger back here. Then we're going to move it. Kiwi, this is not a toy. Don't do it. Don't do it, ma'am. I'll go grab your shoelace because yes, one of her favorite toys is a shoelace with a knot at the bottom. Now, if I plug it in over here, it'll reach. Seems like it's this side. There we go. Now it's plugged in. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I am actually pretty nervous. We have an hour and 10 minutes before we're actually supposed to start. So I think I'm gonna start the next audiobook and then I'll obviously only get, you know, however much into it. I won't be able to finish it. But yeah, although I do want to mark this off of my bingo board, but I'm just reading the books off of my TBR. I don't know if they'll even work for my bingo board. Yeah, let's find out. Okay, I think I'm going to use this for a multi-genre romance, as this is what, like sci-fi fantasy romance or urban, wait, no, magical realism. But it has, because of time travel, sci-fi is technically one of the genres. So I think that's what we're going to put this under. I can also do read a book in one sitting, but I think most of my books are going to fall under that category, except for our buddy read. Do you also want to vacuum before our readathon? I am waiting for people. I don't want to wake people up, so I was waiting before I did that. Next book I'm thinking I'm going to read is In 5 Years. I don't know what this would fit under, if anything. It won't be a one sitting though if I start it now, unless it fits another prompt. I don't know. Yeah, this one also is a multi-genre romance. So maybe I should use this for multi-genre because it's also kind of time travel-y. And this one could be read in one sitting. That might be what we end up doing. So I'm excited. This is fun. This is fun, and I'm nervous, which is embarrassing. I shouldn't be nervous, but I am. sprint starts in 3 minutes. And I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm planning on doing this for like at least the next 5 hours, depending on how things go. Maybe even longer. I want to see if I can get through half of this book. I don't plan on annotating. I don't think. Because that'll make it super slow going. And I am going to be here also writing down my thoughts in the Discord forum for the book. So yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Timmy. Oh, I was going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm also nervous. Oh, I realized that I'm talking into the microphone for the camera because I'm vlogging this. But I'm actually trying to talk to you guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm in a new spot for this. Okay, started out fine. We have a couple of the besties in the chat. We all have different books that we are going to be reading. At least 2 of us will be reading Outdrawn, and then I know we have another one who's not as into romance, who's going to be reading some Agatha Christie, so that's really exciting as well. So for these, you can read whatever you want. We're just going to be hanging out, and then if you're participating in the Romanceathon, we can chat about that in the Discord discussions, which I'm excited about. So, gonna get to it. I think I'm procrastinating. So, I guess I'm gonna hop over to my chair over there and I will be back later. Just started Outdrawn, and I have a problem when I am physically reading things. It's really hard for me to focus when I'm physically reading, which is one of the reasons why I listen to audiobooks so much. And when I physically read, I also try and listen to audiobooks. I just found out that Outdrawn does have an audiobook now. When I first grabbed it, it didn't exist. It was not a thing that was there. But it seems like in the past couple of months, they have made one, and that's super exciting. I see that it's available at my library, so I would try and do that, but it's on, I'd have to put it on hold. It's not available at the moment. So I decided to use one of my Audible credits to get this bad boy, and I'm super excited. I am super excited. So I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I am annotating, and I don't know, I'm excited. I'm already getting a lot of feels. I'm still muted, right? Yes, I am. That would be terrible. But yeah, I'm excited to read this, and I'm feeling some levels of nostalgia over the fact that our main character is an artist and a webcomic artist, as I've always wanted to do that. That's not the focus that I did as an illustrator, but I always thought it would be really fun to do, but then I would get into my head too much and this, that, and the other. So I don't know. It's going to be fun doing this. I have amazing artist friends who do web comics. You should definitely check them out. We have Substitutes and Beside You, both amazing web comics. Oh my god, I'm so proud of them. I wish I could be anything like them. I'm so jealous. But yeah, you should definitely check them out, and I'm excited. It makes me wish more that I was doing that, but it's like a lot of work. Like, I would love to do a novel, and then doing a web comic or a graphic novel is triple the work. So I don't know, maybe I should work on just my novel writing skills first, and then I can dabble back into the idea of doing graphic novels. I might try and do some mini comics or something for just myself and not make it that big of a deal, but I always get so excited and I get too much into my head. I'm stalling. I'm gonna try and get back on track. Okay, hi, hello. I am on stream with the besties and we are reading Outdrawn. And this is actually so much fun because we're chatting live about the book in the Discord. And it's so nice to be able to kind of like go back and forth and be like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God, no. So, yes, now I'm all like, oh, I want to do this all the time. I wish I could do this for every book. That would be so much fun to get people along where we have actual buddy read sprints for specific books. That would be so nice. We'll probably do that for the spooky one next month. This so far is a success and it's still only the first day. So, yeah. Oh, it's going to be hard in between these because I'm just going to want to do these all the time, but there's no way. No way I can make that work every single month. Anyway, I want to continue with Outdrawn, so I'm going to do that and I'll give you an update later. I'm wondering if the author is an illustrator as well because there's doodles in between all of the chapters. The first ones being their Meet the Artist. So different kinds of doodles. I won't show more than that because they do kind of connect with some of the stuff that's happening in the chapters or like the previous chapter, which I think is nice. You finish a chapter and then there's something related to it at the end, moving on to the next one. Love it. I'm putting it out there. Join the Patreon, become a bestie, be part of our live shows. We do those regularly, and then we do these read it like weekend readathons every once in a while where you have reading sprints, hanging out, buddy reads, all the fun stuff. So, yeah, this is an unofficial ad for the Patreon. And yeah, and here I am now wanting to like just listen to the audiobook and doodle at the same time, but I'm also really enjoying annotating and doing some notes as well. So I just made myself some more sugar coffee and then I'm going to get back at it. And I will give you an update when I'm further along. Not much to say about the book other than it's fun so far. It's not amazing, but I like the characters. I like the writing. I am invested. It does have some cheesy things. I am interested to see how it takes things moving forward and how it goes. Hopefully we don't have any like annoying miscommunications because all of me and the besties were all talking about how none of us like that. So hopefully we don't have that here. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'll give you an update later. Good time. Okay, so I have moved over to the couch section to continue. I found the middle point, so I'm going to be reading up to chapter 14, not actually starting it though. And then we will read 14 onwards tomorrow, which I'm pretty excited about. And I'll switch over to another read. We're going to do a couple more sprints is the plan. And yeah, we were we were talking about accents, which was actually super random but really fun. Yeah, it's been really fun. I am enjoying the book. I do want to draw. Part of me is thinking I might stop annotating so that I can do a little bit of drawing. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do, which makes me a little bit sad because I have been having fun writing little like doodles and notes, but it's okay. Because I think it will be really nice to be able to draw, and this just keeps making me want to draw. It makes me miss doing art regularly and having that identity and that passion. I've been missing that passion more than anything. And so I think this could be like a fun little thing. I probably won't draw for too long. I might only just draw for the rest of what I'm going to read for this. And then tomorrow I'll probably annotate. I'm trying to figure out where is my book notes. So I will continue to take notes, my little book notes. I'll probably do an update first with where I'm at because I've mostly been writing my thoughts in here. So I do want to say like, oh, this is how I'm feeling so far on chapter, what am I? Chapter 8, chapter 9, something like that. Chapter 9. So yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, I need to be quiet and I'm going to do this and I'll give you an update later. Okay, so I successfully did some drawing during our last sprint and I unfortunately finished half of the book. And I realized as soon as we started chatting in between, to make sure I was muted, as soon as we started chatting in between, that means I have to wait until tomorrow to finish this book, and I don't want to wait. If you're interested in reading this along with us, we do have the discussion area in Discord for the Book Besties. You can join in the discussion. We've got one going. It's pretty exciting. It's been a good time so far. I am thinking that we're going to go with another bingo board for the October game, and I might work on it sooner rather than later to help people who are planning on joining pick out their books, like especially if you want to get library books, because I know several of us tend to try and do that. So yeah, I think that might be something that maybe I work on like tonight, or maybe even during the sprint. I have about an hour left of this sprint. This is last or second to last sprint for the night. We've been going for 6 hours so far, which has been fun. I do know it's late for some people, still early for others. So could go a little bit longer, although I do have to be careful because in a couple of hours it's going to be dinner time for me, and then I won't be able to do sprints. So what time is it right now? It's pretty much 4 o'clock. So by the time this is done, it'll be 5, which means there won't be enough time to do a long sprint after. So we'll probably just chat for a bit. I have started the next book that I have on my TBR, which is technically the books that I'm picking so far are kind of terrible for the Rep Me Romance Book Club because there's not a ton of representation in them. But I am reading In 5 Years. There is a side character here that's gay, not important to the actual story. It was just a comment that I was like, oh, that's nice. I appreciate that. But I don't really feel like this is a book with representation because it's not really focusing on that. The characters aren't large within the story. It's not a big part of the story. So I am kind of bummed that my first Rep Me weekend readathon, most of my TBR is not representation filled. But I didn't plan that out when I was doing the TBR for this entire month. Might actually could have switched this, but I've already started it and I'm liking it, so I want to finish the book. But I could have switched the prompts. Oh my god, I'm so bad at my own game. I never switch my prompts, but technically I'm allowed to. So I guess for the remaining ones, if they don't fit as well as I want them to, I can try and find a rep version. I'm going to continue reading this. I don't know how far I'm going to get into it. I do plan on finishing this tonight and then maybe even starting another book that I'll finish tomorrow morning. I am getting a little bit tired now that I think about it, but I do know I should be able to finish this tonight at least. Okay, hi, hello. So we just ended the Besties Readathon sprints for today. We're going to go again tomorrow. We ended up going for over 7 hours, 7 hours and 21 minutes. That was wild. It was so much fun. I was gonna try to see if we can fit in like a shorter one, but once we got to the chatty part and I wanted to do a longer chat at that point anyway, I was like, yo, my brain's kind of mush. And they were like, oh, mushy brains means it's probably time for us to end the sprints. And I was like, yep, unfortunately. But it was so much fun. I am so excited. I am thinking for the spooky readathon next month, we're gonna have a buddy read that is not part of the book club. It's just going to be for the readathon. So excited about that. Probably going to do a poll. I'll have it down below and you'll be able to see both of them. Chill. My brain is mush. I'm a little bit tired. I am feeling a little bit emotionally drained from this book. It's more of a heavy hitter than I thought it was going to be. I don't know what to say about it. It doesn't tell you any of this stuff. So I have finished In 5 Years and it was not what I was expecting at all. I don't know what this shows itself as. I feel like the marketing for it is a little bit misleading, but then at the same time, I understand why it does that. Because I actually think it was pretty good. But it's a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. It focuses on different things than I thought it was going to. I wouldn't fully say that it is a romance, as it focuses on so many other things. And so, not the best book for this weekend where I'm trying to escape from stuff and read happy, cheerful, fun romances, because this is not it. High rating. I will say I give it a high rating, but I'm kind of bummed out, and I'm trying not to be bummed out. So, not great. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the Besties Weekend Romance Readathon. Now, I was a little bit sad that my first 2 books that I read didn't have the best representation in them. Now, it's okay to do that for the readathons for some of the books, but because I was focusing on things that were already on my TBR, I noticed that a lot of the other books that I had from my prompts also didn't have as great representation as I wanted. And then I realized I can change the books for the prompts. I very rarely do that. I usually go with whatever I pick while doing the game, but this is the perfect time to make an exception. I'm going to try and pick some more thematic books. I have come up with a official Rep Me TBR. So can I read these 4 books today? That is the question. What is wrong with me? Okay, so we have the Buddy Read, Outdrawn, which we were going to do anyway, or we already started yesterday. Then we have The Bounce Back, which can be used for a book that doesn't have a lot of ratings, so under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, or underdogs. Then we have Digging Up Love for a BIPOC author, and The Accidental Pinup for a cute cover. Then I'm just going to take a picture of all of these and post my TBR, and we can get a bingo. We're going to be starting the reading sprints very soon. I was trying to finish my first book for the day beforehand, The Accidental Pinup by Danielle Jackson. I am really enjoying this, but I still have quite a bit to go. So this is going to have to get put on pause while I finish out the Buddy Read, Outdrawn. So this is going to be the first thing that we read. Then I'll finish that up, and then I have 2 more books to try and read today. I know, I wish I had done this sooner. Instead of just going with what I already had on my TBR, I always forget that I am allowed to switch out the books for each of my prompts, because I never do it. Okay, so we're continuing Outdrawn, pretty far into it, and I'm loving this so far. I realize the more I read, the more I like it, but I'm like scared. I'm gonna be honest, like every time something happens, I'm like, oh yeah, but how is this gonna go later on? What is gonna happen? How is this gonna, like, I don't know why I'm so scared to see what direction it's going. But like at this point, I'm like, I'm really, really enjoying this. I like the relationships. I like the communication. I like the characters. I like the representation. I do feel like we kind of get, we're more involved with one character over the other one. And I kind of wanted there to be a little bit more balance, but we do get glimpses and hints into the other character's backstory as well. It's just not as big of a deal as the other one, so I feel like it gets overshadowed. So that's kind of the only thing I've really felt throughout that could be more, but I don't entirely know how. Honestly, because I like their backstories, I like them as characters, I like what's going on, enjoying their banter. So one of the reasons I think that I like the like rivals to lovers or enemies to lovers is that slight combative banter that tends to happen as long as it's not too harsh, too extreme, and everybody's like both parties are kind of on board, I enjoy that. It's cute in small doses under certain circumstances. And so far, I feel like this has been doing really well, but we do still have a good chunk to get through. So I am nervous. I'm so nervous because I'm like liking it so much. For some reason, I'm all like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know why I'm like waiting for it to disappoint me, but I'm loving it. We have 35 minutes left of this sprint, and I think I can make some decent damage in that time. So we'll probably finish this in our next sprint for sure. Okay, hi, hello. I have finished Outtron, and I loved it. So good. It's funny because the whole time I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it didn't. I feel like this book pleasantly surprised me in a lot of different areas because it would set things up and then subvert my expectations. I will say the only thing that probably bothered me, although it wasn't bad, but it didn't help that I was on stream while reading this, is the steamy scenes didn't have a nice build up to them. They just out of nowhere. When they did happen, I was like, oh, okay, that's happening, which isn't my favorite thing, but I didn't mind. I did kind of maybe skim through them a little bit because I felt a little bit awkward listening to or reading steamy scenes on stream. So I don't know how good they are or aren't in the grand scheme of things, because I was too much in my head. I was just like, oh, awkward. Yeah, it was good. I highly recommend this as a romance. It also, I don't know how to describe it, but it made me feel a lot of things as an artist that I haven't felt in a while, and made me want to draw more, and was reminders of some of the things in the, like, being part of that community that, you know, is either frustrating or scary or whatever. And I don't know, just overall, I feel like it did really well. So that was a pleasant surprise and definitely a good option to make me feel good for the weekend. So success. We are now continuing the Accidental Pinup by Daniel Jackson, which I started earlier this morning, and I am also enjoying this. I will say there are some moments that may feel a little bit forced in different ways, but overall I'm liking it. I do think that some of the like relationship things felt like it just happened way sooner than I would have liked personally, but I'm not really having a problem with it. It's just definitely not going to be a top favorite or anything for me, even though I do like how it's handling a lot of things for the most part. There are some things I'm a little nervous about, but we'll see how it goes. And hopefully, regardless, it'll still be enjoyable for the most part. Okay, hello. So we have just finished the second day of sprints. That was so much friggin' fun. Like, I'm looking forward to our spooky readathon next month. The besties helped me pick out some options. We have a poll live for everybody, so if you're interested in joining for these options, so if you would like to join us in a buddy read for any of these books, please vote and let us know. I'll have that linked down below, and I think we're gonna have a fun time. I think it's gonna be fun because we will be reading together during the live show and talking about it in the dedicated Discord chat for the book besties over on Patreon. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. The buddy read was so friggin' fun. I've never experienced that before, where I was reading a book at the same time for the buddy read as the person I'm buddy reading with, and just like talking about it. And because we're using the Discord spoiler feature, you could talk about whatever when you get to it, and then you just let the person know what chapter the spoiler is from, and when they're ready to see it, they just click it and view it, and it was so nice. It's so nice. So I'm really looking forward to doing that for the next read as well. I'm also pleasantly getting more into this. I don't know if I let you know about this yet, but I started this during the sprints after finishing the accidental pinup, which was a little bit disappointing. And then this started off a little bit chaotic with some embarrassing stuff. And I was like, ooh, this is, I don't know. We'll have to see where this is going to go. It's a bit much, but I'm actually really liking it so far. So I'm really interested in seeing where it goes. We're for sure going to finish this tonight. And then I'm also hoping maybe to get to this one as well. I am feeling a little bit tired. So part of me is thinking that we're not going to be able to do this last one, honestly. So I will have to double up on a prompt, which kind of sucks. But that's what I get for not updating my TBR sooner. I'm so mad that I didn't think about that until the last day. Of course. But yeah, I'm going to finish this book and I'll let you know my thoughts. We're only halfway through, which means I have several hours left to finish this. So this is going to be our last one for tonight. And so far it's off to a good start, which is nice. Okay, so I just finished The Bounce Back by Addie Woolridge. This is my second book that I had read from this author. The first one being The Checklist, which I felt was more of a general fiction than it was actually a romance, as the majority of the story had to do with the character's gosh awful job. And this one kind of falls into a similar realm, as we have a character who is not very responsible and who is desperately trying to get her act together. That being said, I felt the romance in this one. I enjoyed this as a romance, and I was pleasantly surprised, especially after having such a chaotic and almost painful intro. I feel like right off the bat, the character kind of felt unlikable for me, but as time went on, it was easier to kind of get on board, get behind what was happening, and get really invested and start liking the story. That being said, didn't love it. Like, I had a good time. It was fun. Not my favorite. I do think some things were kind of silly. I didn't love everything that happened in the latter half of it, but I'm not mad at it. So, not great, not terrible, I guess. That's like such a lame response. But yeah, it's not great, it's not terrible. It is what it is. Well, hot dang, I did it. So I successfully ended up achieving a bingo. I did have to double up, which is kind of a bummer. But by the end of sprints, I knew I was already pretty tired and there was no way that I'd be squeezing in another book tonight. So I'm pretty happy. I did manage to read 5 books, 3 of which really fit the Rep Me purpose and branding, and one that's kind of close. In 5 Years did have queer rep as a side character, although that wasn't the point of the story. But we do have 3 books by POC authors. And then this one being queer as well, which was nice representation, along with some plus size representation. Overall, I feel like this was a successful readathon. I had so much fun. I am so tired. If you would like to join us for our spooky readathon next month, I will have a link down below to my Patreon, along with the public polls for what weekend you think we should do the spooky readathon buddy read, along with what book we should do as the buddy read. I'm excited to continue doing these moving forward and trying different things, experimenting more, and having just a fun, chill, good time. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you made it this far, include a heart emoji in the comment section down below, and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, bye!